All right, so here we go with a brand new topic, topic 10. We're focusing on the 5-number summary and the box plot. And so we're going to start with activity 10-1, natural selection. It is an extensive activity. There's lots of stuff to do, so I'm going to break it up into some bite-sized videos. Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at the 5-number summary, which nice thing about 5-number summary is there's nothing new, just the name. All the calculations you've already done. Okay, so here's the activity. So we have data, and it's from a study on the topic of natural selection, and it was conducted by Herman Bumpus in 1898. So it says Bumpus gathered data on house sparrows that were brought to the anatomical laboratory of Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, after a severe winter storm. Some of the sparrows were revived, but some of the sparrows died. And Bumpus analyzed the data to investigate whether or not those that survived had some particular physical characteristics. Okay, so he looked at lots of different characteristics, and you'll see some more examples in your homework from topic 10. But here we've got data where he sorted and he measured the total length of the sparrows in millimeters from the tip of the beak to the tip of the tail. And he did that for the 24 adult males that died and the 35 adult males that survived. Okay? All right, so that's our scenario. And what we want to do is we want to see if there's any difference between the sparrows that died and the sparrows that survived. Okay? So, first of all, first question, identify the observational units and explanatory and response variables. Okay, so I think you know what those are, right? The sparrows are our observational units. And there's two variables, right? There's whether or not the sparrow lived, right? And that's a categorical binary variable. And then there's the length of the sparrow, right? And we can think of the length of the sparrow as being our explanatory variable, and whether it lived or died is our response variable, okay? And that explanatory variable, the length, obviously is a quantitative variable, okay? Okay, is this study an observational study or an experiment, right? There is no treatment, right? So that means it's an observational study, and that's important, right? We have to be careful, remember in observational studies that we can't make cause and effect conclusions, draw those, okay? We'll be real careful about that, all right? Okay. And now we're to the work, right? It says determine the median, the quartiles, the minimum and maximum values of the length measurements for the sparrows that survive. This is exactly our 5-number summary, okay? So if you can find the median, the first quartile and the third quartile, and the minimum and maximum, those are 5 values, and they summarize the data set, okay? So let's do that for this data, okay? I'm going to switch over to my document camera, okay, and let's work through this. All right, now the textbook actually does the work for us for the sparrows that died, but I just want to repeat it because the numbers are slightly different and make sure that we have 2 examples to work with, okay? So we're working with this data over here, the sparrows that died, and there's 24, right? And nice, it's all sorted for us. Okay, so I already know the minimum and the maximum. The minimum length of the sparrows that died was 156. The max was 166. So I'm going to fill that out here. And these are all units of millimeters. All right. Okay, let's find the median. Okay, so there's 24 observations. So remember, our median observation is, we do that n plus 1 over 2, so we get 24 plus 1 over 2, which is 12.5. So we're looking for the observations on either side of 12.5. So we're looking at observations 12 and 13. Okay, this is pretty obvious, right? The data is broken up, so we've got 24 observations here, so we're just basically splitting it in half, right? And then our 12th observation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our 12th observation is here. Our 13th observation is here. They're both 162, so that means our median is 162 millimeters. Okay? All right, and then again, this breaks us, the median breaks us up into a lower half and an upper half of the data. Each half has 12 observations. Okay, so the median observation, if I want to find the lower quartile, right, the median observation will be the observation that splits the lower half into two pieces, right? There's 12 observations, so I want the observation 6 and observation 7, their average, right? So I'm looking at this guy and this guy, right? In other words, if I'm using n equals 12 now, it's observation 12 plus 1 over 2, observation 6.5, so I want the observation that's in between 6 and 7. Here's the 6th observation, here's the 7th observation, they're both 161, so my lower quartile is 161. Okay, and then the upper quartile, same thing. I'm looking at the average of the 6th and 7th observations in the upper half. Okay, so I'm looking at the average of 163 and 164. So my upper quartile is 163.5. Okay. All right, and that takes care of that's our 5-number summary, right? Okay, for the sparrows that died. Let's do the sparrows that survived. Okay, so here there's 35 observations. Okay, so if I'm looking for the observation that's in the middle, since I have an odd number, right, there will be a single observation in the middle. So I'll look at observation n plus 1 over 2, 35 plus 1 over 2. So I'm looking at observation 18, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's observation 18. My median is 159 millimeters. Oh, I didn't do my minimum. Minimum is 153. Maximum is 166. Okay, now let's do our quartiles. All right, so this median, this 159, splits us into two halves. There's the values before the median, and then there's the values after the median, right? And each of those is 17 observations. So again, we have to be careful to find the right observation. There's an odd number of observations. So the middle observation of the 17 is going to be 17 plus 1 over 2. That's observation number 9. Okay, so there's my quartile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My quartile, my lower quartile or my first quartile is 158. And then my upper quartile, right, is also going to be the 9th observation in the upper half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 160 millimeters. Okay, so there's my 5-number summary for each of those data sets, those that died and those that survived. Okay, so just to be clear, okay, our 5-number summary we'll use an FNS for short. That's our minimum value, our lower quartile, or QL, our median, our upper quartile, or Q3, and our max, right? Okay. And if you remember, right, our calculator will do this for us, right? We'll find that, find our 5-number summary. Okay. All right. We'll do more with the data in the next video.